Actor, director, and narrator Morgan Freeman was born on June 1st, 1937, in Memphis, Tennessee. The youngest of 5 children born to barber Morgan Potterfield Freeman Sr. and schoolteacher Mamie Edna, Freeman was raised in Chicago and Mississippi in a low-income home. Not long after he was born, Morgan Freeman's parents, like so many other African Americans struggling under the pressures of the Jim Crow South, relocated to Chicago to find work. While his parents looked for jobs, Freeman remained with his maternal grandmother in Charleston, Mississippi. At the age of 6, Freeman's grandmother died, and he moved north to be with his mother, who had already separated from her alcoholic husband. They later moved to Tennessee, and eventually back to Mississippi, where Mamie Edna settled her family in Greenwood. As a kid, Freeman spent a good portion of his time scraping together enough money to see movies, where he formed an early admiration for actors like Gary Cooper, Spencer Tracy, and Sidney Poitier. It was by chance that Freeman himself got into acting. He was a junior in high school, and as punishment for pulling out a chair from underneath a girl he had a crush on, Freeman was ordered to participate in the school's drama competition. To his surprise, and probably the school administrators, the 12-year-old proved to be an immediate natural on the stage, taking top honors in the program. But where Freeman loved to act, the idea of flying, in particular, the idea of being a fighter pilot, was in his heart of hearts. And so upon graduating high school in 1955, Morgan Freeman turned down a partial drama scholarship and joined the U.S. Air Force. The military, though, proved to be much different than what he'd expected. Instead of darting around the skies, Freeman was relegated to the on-ground activity as a mechanic and a radar technician, where he also began to realize that he didn't want to shoot other people down. In 1959, Freeman left the Air Force and tried his fortunes out west, moving to Hollywood to see if he could make it as an actor. It was not an easy life. He took acting classes and struggled to find work. In the early 1960s, he moved again, this time to New York City, where more petty day jobs and nighttime auditions followed. In 1967, the same year that he married Jeanette Adair Bradshaw, Freeman's big career break came when he landed a part in an all-African-American Broadway production of Hello, Dolly, starring Pearl Bailey. Some national exposure followed in 1971 when he started appearing regularly on The Electric Company, a public television-produced children's TV show that focused on teaching kids how to read. On a show that included such current and future stars as Rita Moreno, Joan Rivers, and Gene Wilder, Freeman had some of the show's most memorable characters like Easy Rider, Mel Mounds, and Count Dracula. But television proved to be a grueling and demanding life for Freeman. Despite some stage work, including a Tony-nominated performance of The Mighty Gents in the late 1970s, Freeman couldn't seem to break into movies like he wanted. When The Electric Company was canceled in 1976, Freeman saw himself starting at a career that was far from grounded. His personal life was hurting too. Long before the show canceled, Freeman had found that his marriage had started to fall apart, and he began drinking too much. And so in 1979, Freeman and Jeanette divorced. A year after his divorce, Freeman's career caught a break when he landed a part as a crazed inmate in the Robert Redford film Brubaker. However, the steady stream of film work he hoped would follow did not materialize, and Freeman was forced to retreat back to television for 2 hard years on the cast of the soap opera Another World. For much of the rest of the decade, Freeman took on roles that earned him some acclaim, but not the big, powerful jobs that would garner A-list attention. There was a part in the 1984 Paul Newman film Harry and Son, and he was narrator for the TV miniseries The Atlanta Child Murders, among other roles. Despite this, in 1987, Freeman's fortunes changed when he was cast in the film Street Smart, which placed the actor on the screen as the volatile pimp Fast Black. The role proved to be a huge success for Freeman, earning him an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Film critic Pauline Kael even went so far as to ask out loud, "Is Morgan Freeman the greatest American actor?" 2 years later, Freeman earned more acclaim, a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor and a second Oscar nomination as the kind-hearted but stubborn chauffeur in 1989's Driving Miss Daisy. And so, by the 1990s, Freeman was starring in such big-budget films as 1994's The Shawshank Redemption, the movie Seven in 1995, as well as Deep Impact in 1998. In 2005, Morgan Freeman won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in Clint Eastwood's $1 Million Baby. He later reprised his role as Lucius Fox from Batman Begins for the blockbuster sequels The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. At the 2012 Golden Globes, Freeman received the Cecil B. DeMille Award for Outstanding Contributions to the World of Entertainment. "I like being eclectic," he said about his film choices. "The more varied, the better. I've been sucked into a kind of mold of a good guy, and that's actually almost beyond my ability to control. But other than that, a good story and an interesting character is all I'm really looking for." Freeman's eloquent, distinctive voice has also made him a natural for narration. His voice can be heard on such memorable films as War of the Worlds and the Academy Award-winning documentary March of the Penguins. In 1997, Freeman co-founded the movie production company Revelations Entertainment, including an online distribution company called Clickstar. While it may be a late-blooming success, it's nothing that he's bitter about. Success comes when it comes, he said. I had a career for 30 years. A 30-year career is not bad.